Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson, casting on with a double bed. Let's get started. Some important things for setup include making sure your needles are in a crossed position. And that means that if you lift the ribber needle and the main carriage needle, they should go in between each other and not be directly on top of each other. A way to check this is to ensure your half pitch lever is set to the H position and that your ribber carriage is set to 5, which is centered. Now you can select your needles. Again, anywhere from 25 to 30 needles is good for a sample. And we're selecting all needles. Another important thing is your main bed. You want to have the last needle be on the outside and the ribber bed have the last needle be on the inside working position. So I'm setting all my needles up to the D position, and I'll take my carriage one passage across and back just to set my needles up nicely. They will go back into B position on their own. Things to check on your main carriage is that it is in neutral and no buttons are selected. However, you'll see that the part buttons will function for circular knitting, which we need for the double bed cast on. On the ribber carriage, everything is in neutral, and you'll see the alternation of selecting the part buttons at the top carriage and the bottom carriage will activate tubular knitting. Go ahead and select your scrap yarn, insert it into the machine, and take your carriage one passage across. We're going to now be using a different comb. This is a comb that has a metal rod through it. Remove the rod and insert the comb centered underneath the machine, lifting the teeth up past the yarn and then inserting the metal rod back into place. This will hold your work down and secure the weight on your knit sample. Now you want to use different weight systems as well. These are small, they're also larger sizes depending on the size of your sample. I'm using a small one here and put it in the center of your comb. Now that our carriage is on the left, just be mindful of the tension now that you're using two machines. So I've increased my tension to 1, and I took my carriage back from left to right. You'll see it knit one passage, all needles. Now select the top part buttons, and normally I increase the tension on the bottom carriage. And what we're doing is knitting 3 rows on the ribber bed, 3 rows on the ribber bed only. Once you're done that, deselect and take the carriage back, all needles, one passage from left to right. So your carriage is back on the right. And now all you have to do is release the ribber carriage and take it across 2 passages. What this does is releases the work to the main bed, and it creates one single stitch that will be able to be pulled in order to remove the scrap yarn from the good working yarn. And there you have it. This is an all needle casting on using a double bed knitting machine.